Hello Year 7, this is your fourth lesson on the speed and forces topic. Today's lesson title is Floating and Sinking. Please make sure you have this and today's date written at the top of your work. This is a concept cartoon. Please pick who you agree with most and write down a sentence explaining why. Dan: I think there are two forces acting on Nazim. Gravity and weight. Bob: no, there is only one force. Gravity. Pulling him down towards the centre of the earth. Lynn: I think there are two forces. Gravity pulling him down and an upwards force from water. Tony: no, the water can't push up. It's just stopping him from sinking. Who do you agree with most and why? Upthrust and weight. An object in water has two forces acting upon it, upthrust and weight. Upthrust is the upwards force exerted by a liquid on the object. Weight is the force of gravity on the object. The ship is floating because the upthrust is the same size as the weight. The forces are balanced. If the upthrust exerted by the water is 300 newtons and the weight of the boat is 300 newtons, does the boat sink or float? Quickly have a think, pause the video while you do so. The forces are balanced, so the boat will float. A rubber duck has a weight of 3 newtons and an upthrust of 2 newtons. Does the duck float or sink? Have a little think. The forces are unbalanced, so the rubber duck will sink. The dive toys sink to the bottom of the swimming pool. Draw a diagram labelling the forces and explain why the toys have sunk. Use the following key words: sink, upthrust, weight, unbalanced. Pause the video. The dive toys sink to the bottom of the pool because the weight and upthrust are unbalanced. The weight is more than the upthrust, so the toys will sink. Progress check. Have a think and rate yourself red, amber or green for I can explain why something floats or sinks using the key words. Keywords: upthrust, weight, float, sink, balanced, unbalanced. Floating and sinking. Copy out the table. Material, prediction, volume, centimetres cubed, mass, grams, density, grams per centimetre cubed, float/sink, hardwood, softwood, polystyrene, wax, aluminium, iron. Density equals mass divided by volume. Step 1. Make a prediction. Do you think the material will float in water or not? Step 2. Work out the volume of the cube. Volume equals length times width times height. All of the blocks in your table have length of 5 centimetres, width of 4 centimetres, height of 3 centimetres. Can you use the equation to calculate the volume and add it to the volume column in your table? Step 3. Calculate the densities. Okay, so density equals mass divided by volume. So for this column, the density column, we're going to do the mass divided by the volume, which you should have calculated to be 60. So for the first one, we're going to do 39.4 divided by 60. Pop that in a calculator and you should get 0.66. Have a go at the softwood one. 34.4 divided by 60. Pause the video and have a go. I'm now going to put the answers up. This is roughly what you should have got. If you've rounded slightly differently, do not worry. So, the density of water is 1 gram per centimetre cubed. Can you look at the picture? What can you conclude about floating, sinking and density? Write a conclusion in your book. So the polystyrene has a density of 0.01 grams per centimetre cubed and it's floating. The wood has a density of 0.7 grams per centimetre cubed and it's floating. The water has a density of 1 gram per centimetre cubed. The iron has a density of 8 grams per centimetre cubed and is sinking. This is a conclusion. This is my conclusion. Objects will float if their density is less than the density of water, like the polystyrene and the wood. Objects will sink if their density is more than the density of water. If an object has got a density much less than the density of water, it will float higher out of the water. Step 4. Decide whether the cube floats or sinks. So, hardwood has a density that is less than 1 gram per centimetre cubed, so I've put that it floats. Go down the list. If the number is smaller than 1, it has a lower density than water, so will float. If your density is larger than 1, it has a greater density than water and will sink. Pause the video and have a go at completing the table. Here are the answers. In your books, describe and explain why the kickboard is floating in water, but the dive rings sink to the bottom of the pool. You can draw diagrams to help you if you want. There is also help on your worksheet on the Padlet. Have a good lesson! Here is a picture of the help in case you can't access the worksheet.